Warren County Pioneers moved to 3-0 with a hard-earned victory over Rockvale on the road Friday night. Hi, everybody. I'm Jay Walker. Welcome to Turner Time, featuring Warren County Pioneer head football coach Matt Turner. Yes, we're also joined by the Warren County Sports Authority, Jeff Simmons. Gentlemen, a thriller on the road Friday night.
It was a great game. Jay, I had the opportunity to join you in the booth this week, and, I don't know how well I did up there, but Warren County did pretty well on the field. And I was very, very impressed with the way that the team stuck together there in the fourth quarter. I know Coach Turner and I have went back and forth. I've said a couple different times in stories on the Warren County Sports Authority site that this team was a good individual team, maybe not good individuals, maybe not the greatest team. And I think in the fourth quarter you saw that this team will come together and make big plays when they need to. And, Coach, I know you were happy with it. And I know after the second win, maybe not so happy. I'm guessing you were pretty happy with this one after.
Yeah, great win actually go down to Rutherford County, and even though Rockvale, that was a good football team, full of a lot of athletes, and I think Coach told me they still had like maybe 20 seniors. So, they're not young pups no more. And of course, those seniors and a lot of those kids in Rutherford County, those kids have been playing a lot of ball, a lot of youth football that goes on there in Rutherford County that something we're going to build here in Warren County. So that team is a very well-coached team. And to go, and of course, that first series, a lot of we got hit in the mouth a little bit, but I had to tell my coaches and the players, we're on their home turf, so we had to take a shot in the mouth there and take it and then come back. And I think the guys did really, really well. And then it was a slugfest. Mm-hmm. That was a Friday night football game. That's what they're supposed to be. They don't need to be 48-0 blowouts. I'll take them anytime we can get them, sure. Especially when we're on the high end. Friday Night Lights is all about those, a boxing match, that slugfest, and we made mistakes, they made mistakes, and who capitalized most. And, of course, they scored with, 2 minutes?
2:09 to go.
2:09 to go, and I knew we had time if our guys, there's plenty of time on the clock, if our guys will come together, and they did what they needed to do and, come out with a win. So
let's take a look at some highlights from Friday night's game. We begin with a couple of touchdown passes to Kason Holder.
Yeah, Kason had a big night. You can see right there just how much speed he's got right there. By the time he got open, it was over. Of course, we've been working on this really, and this is actually our quick game right there, putting that corner in conflict right there. Of course, they had that one high safety, and, of course, you can see Grayson over here on the lower right there at the 5-yard lines open more than Kason was. So,
another vertical attack, and this is with 54 seconds to go in the game.
Oh, we'll go straight to the the winning. Yeah. So.
Yeah, Kason, you knew coming into the season he had the ability to make plays in the passing game, and like you said, a lot of speed. I think teams are still not understanding how fast he is.
Right.
C.J. Taylor is starting to figure out how fast he is because he's laying it out there and letting Kason go get it.
He is, that's back to that first one. You can see right there, he just outran. No, in Rockvale, they run in that 3-3 defense right there, and they implemented that this summer because they have speed. Mm-hmm. So of course, when you got CJ that has set them up as far as that dual threat, going to run, that helps make Kason and those wide receivers look even faster because, those DBs, And, I think C.J. Taylor surprised a lot of people just by his ability to throw the ball this night. Everybody's seen how he's, they call him dual threat, but really, it's either he does it on his feet so far, but now this is a whole new can right here opened up.
Yep.
The defense also stepped up.
Yes, sir. Coach Bond, that defensive staff is grinding, and I feel like, as far as our defense, this second year of our install on this, we're getting better, and I feel, we've moved some guys around, some personnel, so we're faster in different positions. I think our linebacker positions are faster than they've been in a long time in Warren County. Grayson and Ryland Holder, Rylan had a huge game. Obviously, I think he had something of like 7 solos and 6 assists. And of course he had his big interception at the end. Of course CJ's doing what CJ does right there. So he's just got a knack for the ball.
Coach, we talked about it before the season started. What would this defensive line be able to get more pressure against teams that wanted to pass? Rockvale came in last year. They were a running team, didn't want to throw the ball very much. New quarterback, knew they were going to throw the ball more, and you were getting after him. And we keep seeing him on these highlights. Every single time. He's under a lot of pressure trying to throw the ball over and over again. And your front 4 are getting there. Like you said, CJ's getting there. The edge is getting there.
Right.
Braden Bottoms has really helped. I mean,
Yes,
Braden comes in here on one of these highlights. He's out there. I mean, that's him right there. Aiden Cummins, healthier.
And that's where
we have Aiden back.
We moved Bryson Elrod down from the linebacker position down to what we call that stud, that defensive end type D lineman, D end, that he can be in a 2-point or 3-point stance. That's kind of irrelevant. But but can cover the flats, but also get pressure on that quarterback. But yeah, right there, they're getting after it. And then of course the way our defense is designed, that some of that blitz off the edge by Kaysen or CJ really spooks those quarterbacks.
Another bright spot on offense was Dante Elam.
Oh man, wasn't it? He really came in. He was challenged all week in practice. And of course, preseason, he had some health injuries, health issues a little bit, just some things we had to get checked out, make sure he was 100% ready to go. So we kind of had to filter him back in a little bit, and we started that with defense because he's such a vital part of that secondary on the defense. But now you can see that he's starting to shine on offense. I think him and CJ has got a good relationship as far as on the field. He understands what CJ's meaning because a couple times there's a lot of busted pass protection, and they had to do a little scramble drill. But yeah, he had a huge night. He was actually our offensive MVP our in-house team awards this week. So big game.
It's like you were said, going back to how he relates to CJ. Me and Jay on the call, you could see a couple of times where it's just a subtle nod. You see CJ, you see CJ and Dante just kind of looking at each other, and there was a couple of times where CJ goes all the way out there, talks to Dante before the play, comes back in. Now, granted, do you want to do that every single time, knowing that you're about to throw it to him? No, but they obviously were getting on the same page and making plays. I mean, that was a 3rd and 16 that he scrambles out, gets 18 yards.
Right.
Dante. This is one of the plays that really showed to me that Dante has a little bit more wiggle and speed than people give him credit for. I mean, he got around their defense a couple of different times and showed that he could run away from them.
And then he ran away, and then I think this play right here, he gets some yards after contact right there. I mean, he's not trying to dodge contact either. Of course, he is a smaller frame type kid, and you guys seen him on the basketball court. He's a little bit smaller, but boy, he's quick. And he's got some, like you said, he's got some wiggle factor to him.
Well, gentlemen, the defense also got a lot of stops, and they were pretty impressive.
Yes, sir.
Dayton Jernigan over here shutting down a 4th down right before halftime. Kid making a lot of plays.
Yep.
We see Rylan Holder bust through the line, 12 tackles in the game, and
big game.
It had a huge game. C.J. Taylor in the flat, taking away that pass.
Yep.
Case and Holder showing up here, making a tackle in the backfield. Just a number of players all making plays for your defense.
Yeah, our motto last week and continue to do your job, and these guys are doing their job like that right there. Rylan seals the deal right there. He's dropping to the curl flat zone, doesn't have nobody. He's taught to, read that quarterback's eyes and getting his line of sight to his receivers. And, he made that comment. He said, Coach, I saw him cock it back. I ran as hard as I could, tried to get in the passing lane to break it up. And, of course, you can see how he snags it up. Dayton's going to be fun to watch next 2 or 3 years here. I'm excited to see because that kid grows. He gets better each and every day, each and every rep. And then, of course, CJ does some great things right here. CJ breaks this up. And of course, the guy, behind him, if CJ doesn't get that block, that kid's
Still running.
Yeah, still running. Casey comes up, makes a good play, gets off a tackler, gets off a blocker. So they're doing their job, and that's what it's exciting to see these guys develop.
All right, time now for the tough question for Turner.
Oh, Coach, usually I try to open this up to everybody, and you can send it to wcsportsauthority@gmail.com. Hit us up on our Facebook page. Hit us up on Twitter @the_WCSA. But I took the liberty of choosing this one for myself.
All right, let's hear it.
First drive of the game.
Okay, I know.
4th and 7,
mm-hmm.
and you choose to go for it.
Yep.
Don't get it. Rockvale scores right after it. What was the thought process going for it that early in the game on your side of the field?
You'd have to ask Cameron Bond. Of course, like I said, I had my defense coach there. Of course, my offense coach is doing things, and we actually, I looked at Coach Bond, and he said, "Yeah, let's go for it." So we was talking about, send a play. Said, "Kenny, have a play? Let's go," because we had punt ready to go. And our defensive staff believes in our offensive staff and the kids on the field, and it just goes to show that we're communicating and letting them do their thing, and of course they didn't get it, we didn't get it, and of course they continued to go on down and score, but we took a chance there, and it's early in the game. Thought we could take away a little wind out of their sail if we did get it. I love having momentum setting up over my wife, we tried it and didn't happen, but it was early in the game. We had time to overcome it.
Yep. I mean, like you said, it's about playing complementary football. And if your staff trusts that you can play complementary football, then it gives you a little bit more liberty. And, of course, later in the game, you went with Xander Lee. Xander delivers 2 very good punts.
Good punts.
Now, I don't think Rockvale had a net yard on return at all. In fact, I think on a holding call they lost yards on one. So, I mean, Xander with 2 punts, 42-yard average, gives you more options. I mean, it's just like you said, the team has a lot ability to do a lot of different things there. But, that was one of the ones that I was looking at Jay in the box, and I said, I'm not really sure what's going on. But later, there was another play that happened, said the same thing. It turns out really well for you. And I told Jay, I was like, maybe it's a good thing that I'm up here and Coach Turner's down there, or maybe the Pioneers aren't winning this game.
Well, let's announce the Security Federal Player of the Week, Jeff.
Yep. We're going to go with Ryland Holder.
Yes, sir.
When you get the game-winning interception and seal it for your team and end up with 12 tackles as well, I think it's a worthy honor to get the Security Federal Player of the Week. Ryland, doing a great job for you.
Yeah, of course, there's a ton of kids. We've mentioned them up when we was watching highlights and different things like that. But Ryland, had a standout game. And he had some hard runs on offense, too. A lot of people don't realize that. Monday he was sore, looked like and he actually he was bruised all up, shoulders all beat up, but he's loving it. So I'm excited about this young man. We done talked about it a little bit about seeing where he's going to go next year and play. I've heard he's a pretty good baseball player as well. So he's got options. I mean, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he's got coming this weekend against Lawrence County. Because he has really picked up our speed on the linebacker position, and exciting kid to coach and have on the team.
So congratulations to Ryland Holder, the Security Federal Player of the Week. Well, Coach, a year ago, we all made the 3-hour trip to Lawrence County. Jeff Lee and I found us a great barbecue place up there. But for the team, what did that 3-hour trip, how do you think it affected the Pioneers going into that game?
Well, the bad thing is it was hot that day. Lord, it was hot. And we actually tried to get some charter buses that was lacking a little bit. Of course, the seniors was on a little bus that I think the AC was a little bit better, but the rest of the team last year. Oh, yeah, Simmons, you rode on that.
I was on that senior bus. The AC was lacking for sure.
Okay,
it was a.
It was miserable.
It was a miserable trip.
It was miserable.
There's a reason why y'all were down 14-0 very, very early in that game. I mean, you could tell it just sapped the entire team.
Right. And of course we tried to take a break there. Whatever the city is right outside there, we went to the park. Ate a pregame meal, did a little walk through, tried to stretch our legs. But I mean, it was just so hot and humid. I remember sending a photo to my wife where I was just Because I remember sitting CJ and Dante and a lot of the juniors at that time up towards the front, because that was where the 1AC was working well or better. And it was a pusher bus, so the motor's in the back. I'm sitting back there, and I think me and Xander was sitting back there. And I mean, Lord goodness, it was hot. It was very hot. So.
Well, we got them at home this time.
That's right.
They get to make the 3-hour trip. Coach, what is it about playing at home that gets the Pioneers going?
I mean, I mean, obviously Nunley Stadium, it's a hollow ground over there. We've built that up and built it up that I've really tried to instill to those kids what it means to the older generations, and we get to play at home, I mean, obviously we're still traveling. That part's no fun. But, I think they, in their mind, I don't know about the COVID stuff, how it worked last home game because of the storm and COVID, but, they know that they're home. There's some of their buddies that usually wouldn't travel is going to be there, and, grandparents and extra people might be there. And, and it's playing on your home field. So,
yeah, I mean, Coach Turner, coming into this game against Lawrence County this week, you're now, as a coach, Warren County in 2 years, you're 5-1 at home. You got Cannon County that won the 48-0. Last year, go 4-1. It's starting to the point where it's piling up wins to move you up the coaching, wins list. I mean, I know that we've talked about this before. There's been 15 coaches in 52 years in Warren County, and you're with a good push this year. Could it get into the top 5 or 6 already? But and how you've done it thus far has been winning at home. Of course, you're 2-0 on the road this year too.
Right,
so.
right. And having a talented squad of all these guys that we've been mentioning has made it really, really easy. Because I mean, and having quality coaching staff that cares about the program as much as I do. Because like I said, I've always went back to all these coaches. They've worn that Pioneer jersey. They've sweated. Most of them, for the most part, walk the same hallways that these kids out here did. They didn't even go to the senior high. I think Coach Martin, last year's coach, and Coach Upton was the only ones, but I think this whole staff that we have now actually walk the same hallways, use the same locker room that these kids are here. Made the same, short little 15-minute bus trip, to come over to Nunley Stadium. So I mean, it means something, and of course that's what we've told them. We know where the after party fields are going to be and different things like that. And I think our coaching staff relates to these kids. That's where I feel like Coach Moore and Coach Johnson and some of those guys that came through here, they was just missing that small component on how to relate to these kids. Because we all grew up together.
It's Warren County. I mean, there's something special and something to be said about a Warren County person leading Warren County teams. And in the last calendar year, you can see what's happening when it happens.
Right.
Chris Sullins, Philip King, Gooby Martin. It's some of the best programs in the school.
Todd Wilmore, and we go back to the last time that Warren County was fairly successful. It's Chris Madewell. So these are some of the guys that that's blood, sweat, and tears. It means something. It's personal to us. So.
Well, Coach, as you look at the Wildcats on film, what do you see that's different?
Different from last year? Not really much. They've got the same quarterback there. He's a salty little kid. He likes to get downhill, runs hard. He's not scared to throw the ball. They're scrappy. I feel like they're very disciplined. And I mean, of course, I know Coach does a really good job down there, and I know he's probably going to do a good job of having them prepared, even overcoming that 3-hour break. So, but yeah, it's going to be a good ball game, and of course, I felt like last year we struggled with special teams down there. Obviously, we muffed 2 kickoffs and had a block punt. That could have changed the whole momentum and swing of that game. So we're going to really focus on that and continue to get better at do what we do.
Yeah, I mean, to me, watching them on film, watching you on film, it's a team that focuses and relies a lot on its quarterback to make its offense go. Alex Carr, like you said, a great runner from the quarterback position, and he will mix it in. last year, I mean, you've already touched on everything on that. Special teams wise, it lost you the game. I mean, you can't
nightmare.
You can't say it any other way. Either one of those kickoffs, if you just catch it and don't set up Lawrence County inside your own 30 with the ball, you may win that game. Even falling behind 14-0, Warren County came back and was up 16-14 there at the end of the second quarter. So
that one block punt for.
So I mean, there's a lot of different things that could have been done there, but this it's going to be two teams that are going to rely on their quarterbacks a lot, and it's best athlete there, and they're going to see how it goes. But containing him is going to be a challenge. Again, he's a different kind of quarterback than maybe you've seen this year.
Yeah, he's more elusive. I mean, he's a good combination. I think he reminds me a lot of the Rockvale quarterback. I feel like they had a lot in common. Kid runs hard, throws it. And then they get some funky alignments that really hurt us last year. And as a defense, we have already figured out where we went wrong last year on that. Didn't adjust because we actually had two of our both safeties on the same side of the ball, just because of different things that we was learning last year as far as the learning curve. But I feel like we've got an answer for that this year. It's all going to be about what kids want it the most. That's where I feel comfortable with all these other athletes that we got surrounded by our quarterback, CJ, and we'll get after it.
Coach, again, we're under COVID restrictions. How can fans get tickets to the game?
Go Fan. I think Coach Wilmore, and I know all the social media. We got the Go Fan app. Buy those tickets. Obviously, the season ticket holders buy those tickets. I don't know how Coach Wilmore's keeping count, but we've got a lot of green grass over there, a lot of track space. So I think we can find, if you want to come to that game, show up.
Yeah. Coach, we've talked about this a lot. Friday, September 11th. I think that everybody, September 11th means a lot. And what are you thinking about maybe trying to do for the September 11th game this year?
Well, I actually got to spoke, kind of threw it out there to the administration at the high school and to the student section, because a lot of times they'll do theme days. They'll be dressed up as hunters or camouflage or neon or something like that. But we're going to do it is Patriot Day. And so we are going to flood fill the hill with some red, white, and blue, USA, the never forget as far as the September 11th. Of course, all of us, I'm sure you guys all remember exactly where you was when that happened. And, of course, it's crazy being older now, like these kids that we're coaching and these kids in high school, it's not as didn't make as an impact as it has probably to us. So I do want to highlight that. We're probably going to try to get some of our first responders, and we may even have some flashing lights and different things of that nature. I've got to get with Coach Wilmore and see what we're allowed to do as far as COVID restriction. But, let's fill the hill, red, white, and blue, and, stars and stripes, and get after it.
All right, Warren County against Lawrence County at home this Friday night, 7 o'clock. You can hear the game live on 92.1 The Ticket, your home for Warren County Pioneer Sports in Warren County. And you can also get the information from the Warren County Sports Authority, Jeff Simmons. Check in with him.
Absolutely. We'll have Ansley Mulliken back on the sideline. She's having a lot of fun with Coach Turner down there, and Ansley Mulliken will be on Facebook Live. We'll have our Twitter updates as well, and then we'll also have pregame and postgame with Coach Turner.
I want to thank Security Federal for sponsoring us, Mud Bums for having us out, and so for Coach Matt Turner and the Warren County Sports Authority, Jeff Simmons. I'm Jay Walker. We'll see you next time on Turner Time.
Go Pioneers.